Hello everyone, this is Kyle. How are you doing? Welcome back to another video of Bovineology. Hello. So last week we started talking about synchronization of ovulation protocols, and we covered the biological process behind each injection in the protocol. Today we're going to talk about some of the options that we have for protocols and how the OvSync evolved over the years. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about the options that we've seen that we have for lactating cows, for dairy heifers, and also the options that a couple of options that we have for beef cows as well. So I wanna bring up this paper that was published in 2008. This paper had the goal of compare the reproductive outcomes when they use double OvSync to synchronize ovulation compared to pre-sync. At that time, pre-sync was the protocol that was mostly used, and then this paper proposed double OvSync. So just reminding, the pre-sync consists of 2 injections of prostaglandin 14 days apart, and then in this particular project, there was a 12-day interval before they start the OvSync, which consists of a generate injection, then 7 days later, prostaglandin, and then another generating injection in 60 hours apart, artificial insemination. Sorry, artificial insemination here. So for double OvSync, as the name says, it consists of 2 consecutive OvSyncs, 7 days apart. So generate injection, prostaglandin GnRH, that's the OvSync. 7 days later, another OvSync, and then finally the insemination. The goal of today's video is not to tell what protocol is better. Oh, this protocol is better, this protocol is not. In this particular paper, double OvSync was associated with greater pregnancy per eye in the first service compared to pre-sync, and the animals that benefited the best were the primiparous animals that received double OvSync compared to pre-sync. Multiparous animals did not benefit, so there was no difference between double OvSync and pre-sync in the pregnancy in the first service. So I'm not here to tell you what's protocol is better than the other one, just because each farm is different. So there are very specific nuances for each farm. For example, what we have seen is that farms, high-producing farms, they have been associated with greater proportion of anovular cows, so cows that are not cycling, they do not resume estrous cyclicity. So in that case, these animals would benefit better for double OvSync, just because you're gonna give more OvSync, so more generate injections, so more stimuli for ovulation, rather than just giving prostaglandin 14 days apart, which are not gonna stimulate ovulation at least in the same rate when you give GnRH. So switching gears a little bit and then talking about dairy heifers. So this is the exact same protocol that we used to talk about the biological process last week. And this one is a protocol that I used for a paper of mine published in 2020. So 1 injection of GnRH and the start of the protocol. In this case, these dairy heifers had a cedar containing progesterone inserted in the vagina for 5 days, and then 2 injections of prostaglandin 1 day at 24 hours apart after we remove the cedar. And then that's what characterizes the co-sync protocol. The insemination happened at the same day a GnRH injection was provided. And interesting, this can be used for beef. I've seen some beef ranches using a similar protocol like this. Some ranches use a 7-day interval here instead of 5. Again, I'm not gonna talk about which protocol is better. Each ranch is different than the other one. Heifers change according to nutrition and the farm. But what I want to point out here is talk about estrus detection. So it's not So the primary function of these protocols is so you do not have to do estrus detection, as we talked last week. But that doesn't mean you cannot do it. You can still do. So there are some farms that do what's called cherry picking, and that's basically estrus detection. So in this case, and we did this at least partially in this study, after the last prostaglandin injection, we use one method of detecting estrus visually, and animals that were detected in estrus before day zero, they were inseminated and they received a GnRH. So that is something that can be done. So next week, we're going to talk about some of the peculiarities that these protocols have, some of the problems, and how recent research has shown that we can mitigate the problems associated with that. For instance, and I'm already telling what we're going to talk about, this protocol is associated with early estrus expression. So around 30% of heifers, they show estrus prior to day zero, and this early estrus expression affects pregnancy period, insemination, and the first service when we do this protocol. So we're going to talk about one thing that we can do that's going to help us avoid, well, reduce the detrimental impact of that. And then it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited for that. So again, it was, if you like the video, please share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.